Hello and welcome to my yet another video on early childhood parenting. So, do you want to raise an independent child? Do you want to raise a child who is independently doing all his tasks or things or whatever it is? Right. Just type out yes in the comment box. In the comment box, if you wish to raise an independent child. Now, let me clarify some things now. Is there anybody in this world who is actually independent? I don't know, maybe out there in some corner of the planet, maybe there is a tribe. Again, if it's a tribe, it's really not one person that's independent, but yes, you would be getting my point a few moments further into it. So let me clarify this. I don't think there is anybody in this world who is actually independent. For example, if there is a person who has cleared his interview successfully, he might be thinking he learnt on his own, he tackled it on his own, he won on his own. But even for that person to having achieved that success, to get that success, he was dependent on that milkman who got the milk and he made the coffee right on time on that day, right? Maybe on the person who filled his vehicle with fuel. He was dependent on the person who picks trash from the household. And he might also be dependent on the other family members who is again each one doing their own tasks, right? So we really are not actually independent. So we are not actually working or operating independently, but we are all operating interdependently, woven interdependently. So when you want your child to wear, that your 3-year-old or your 2-year-old to put on his socks, and you have this fear inside of your mind, oh maybe this child should be doing his things independently, so let me not help him at all. He'll learn gradually. So when you are operating from that fearful thought, again you are operating from fear. So there is a difference whenever you are operating from fear or are you operating from trust. So when we are operating out of this fearful thought, it doesn't actually help the child. What we should learn to do even as an adult and what we should help the child to do to discriminate is how much of the task can I do independently, how much of the task do I need another person's help. Even if it's maybe even in a family household, the father depends on the mother. When the father is successful, definitely there are other parameters also that fell into the right place, other people doing the right thing at the right time for the father to be successful. Likewise, for the mother to be successful, there were many other parameters that have happened. So for the child, what is important is not actually the parent being adamant that my child has to be independent, let me not help him get the glass, let me not help him open the bottle cap, let me not help him put on his socks, let me not help him pull up his blanket, but helping the child think for himself and discriminate how much of task can he do on his own or how much of task does he need help. So when the child has developed this wisdom to discriminate or the ability to think for himself whether he can do it or he needs help, this also helps this kind of thinking ability also helps in any risky situations. He is actually assessing if there is any risk, if he needs adults help, contrary to the kind of fearful upbringing where the child is put in his mind that everything he has to do on his own, and even maybe when there is a risky situation, he's just thinking that, oh, I don't think any adult will help me, they will end up saying I have to do on my own. So maybe he's just attempting something, and maybe I'm not saying any life-threatening risk, but anything, maybe he's not able to assess whether he really needs help, or maybe it will hurt him a bit if he ends up doing it on his own. So there is a lot of thinking that goes in the child when the child is given the space, the freedom and the time for him to think for himself and ask for help whenever he needs something. Likewise, when they do something on their own, again there are some parents who kind of stop them from doing on their own. Now when the parent is actually stopping them from doing something, and then the parent is also adamant that the child has to be independent, and the parent is not helping the child put on his socks. So there is a lot of conflict going on, first of all, in the internal setting of the parent, and that is also creating a confusion in the environment for the child to understand his external environment, and this in turn creates a confusion in the child's mind, right? It's not an empowering thought that we are actually passing on to the child, but we are just passing on a fearful thought. We are passing on confusion, we are passing on limiting thoughts, we are passing on rules that we think are universal truth, and and many things. So that was for this video. Now just do a bit of thinking and let me know in the comment box, how would you want to implement this part of whatever I've shared with you in your parenting journey. So cheers, bye bye.